Hey, how's it going everyone? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we're going to be looking at the DC Universe Classics San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Lobo figure. I've had this guy for a while. I don't think I reviewed him ever before, so I figured I might as well. With Comic-Con coming up next week, why not? Actually, it's not next week for when you're watching this. It's next week for me right now, but you'll probably be seeing this next week. So, whenever you see it, Comic-Con will be around that time somewhere. Okay, let's talk about the figure, and enough of me rambling. He stands about 8.5 inches tall. Most of his body is the same as the Despero Collect and Connect figure. Same pants, same torso. Of course, they added the jacket and some new boots and things. He also has the same rifle as Despero, which is pretty cool. It's repainted, obviously. Same mold, though. Pretty decent paint application. Nothing too special, but it looks fine for the figure, and it doesn't have to be some kind of iconic weapon. It's good enough as it is. He also comes with his little bulldog, which I believe is named Dog. I might be mistaken on that, but I'm pretty sure. And actually the collar is articulated, so you can pose that if you want to, if you don't like the way the spikes are pointing, and you can rotate the head. And it's actually a fairly detailed paint job and sculpt job. Pretty good little accessory. No articulation otherwise, but definitely a nice little bonus accessory to put on the shelf. So he has those two accessories. He also has his pistol, which doesn't have a trigger guard, which is good because he doesn't have a trigger finger. So it only works with, you know, a closed hand, or a gun with no trigger guard, whatever. They work with each other because of how they're made. And that's pretty good. So that can come out and go inside the holster, which is articulated on his belt. It swivels so that you can move it however you want to. Then he also has his chain, which is a real metal chain, plastic or rubber hook, and the chain is actually connected to his arm, so you can't lose it. You can't come off. There's a second piece. I'll show you. When you undo it, you can see here that the arm has a couple little notches to hold it in place, and there's also another piece right there. I'm not sure why that's there. I really haven't figured that out ever. Maybe if somebody knows, you can let me know, but I do not. There's a little discoloration on the arm from the chain, but that might come off. I don't know. If it doesn't, I'm not too worried because the chain's going to stay on the arm for as long as I have the figure, because it looks better in his hand, I think, than it does on, or out, like he's holding somebody. And you can't hold it, he can't hold it like that, by the way, because it falls out very easily, so be careful with that. Okay, and lastly, he comes with his 3D glasses, which most people lose. Nice little accessory. Nothing fancy, but they do kind of stay on his head okay. They come taped on around the back underneath his hair, and I would recommend you leave the tape on there unless you really want to take them off, because they can fall off fairly easily. Alright, so that does it for accessories. Let's talk about new features. Obviously, he has a new head. He's not the same as Despero. Pretty good look for Lobo. I'm okay with it. It definitely reminds me of the 90s cartoon version of him from the Superman series, the animated series. And it's kind of more of an iconic look for Lobo. In the new, what is that, Injustice fighting game, he's got dreads. I don't like that at all. His hair looks nappy here, but not dreads. And I think that's okay. The only complaint I have is the way they put the two side pieces on as a separate piece for each one. It's not so bad in the front, but on the back it's very obvious that it's two pieces of hair. So that could have been done a lot better, I think. It's not ideal, but it's not too bad. Like you can see, it's pretty soft, so it won't get in the way of the head too much. And the head is on a ball joint, and the ball peg, unlike most DCUC figures, it goes forward and back for a pretty good amount. Of course, the hair does get in the way some, but it also can rock side to side a little bit, so a little bonus articulation is always a good thing. He has standard shoulder joints, standard bicep swivel, elbow, all that kind of stuff. His wrists are swivels as well. Each hand is the same kind of hand, just for a standard gripping hand, so that's okay. He has the newly sculpted gloves. At least I'm pretty sure those are new. I don't think anybody else ever had those that use this body. He's got the new vest, which is a separate piece. I think one of my lights is about to go. It's flickering. Anyway, so he's got the vest, which is a separate piece, and that's okay. It's nice and soft. It doesn't impede the articulation at all, so that's nice. It's painted well. It's textured well. No complaints there. The belt is a new piece. It also is sculpted and painted well, so that's cool. It doesn't impede the articulation too much because it's relatively soft, so you'll get enough out of it. Standard hip articulation, standard waist twist. He has a thigh swivel. And he also has a swivel at the boot, so that can help in posing sometimes. And then his ankle is articulated. There's a little bit of an ankle rocker, but you're not going to get much out of it. So pretty much standard DCUC articulation, nothing to write home about, but it's perfectly acceptable for this figure. Get back in you. Okay. So I do like this figure. A lot of people say it's not as good as people make it out to be. Personally, I think it's just about everything it needs to be. It's pretty much a perfect Lobo figure. I'm completely content with it, and I do highly recommend it. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.